Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Pain to Power. Today's episode is put together much like my book, Empowered by the Storm, Releasing the Past and Embracing the Light, through the deep reflections that often surface in my meditations. Having walked through a wide range of challenges in my life, I've developed not only a unique way of contemplating our human experience, but also a deep desire to uncover and understand the human condition and how we can navigate it with more grace. So today I want to share with you some of the revelations that have come to me, along with the ways you might shift your own perspective to create a more compassionate and fulfilling life for yourself. Wherever you are in life right now is a production of your entire life's experience. For some, these experiences were pleasant and well-rounded, but for many, and dare I say most, the past was filled with trauma, heartache, disappointment, grief, and struggle. But I'm here to tell you that despite this, you were meant to thrive. Actually, because of all this, you have the skills to thrive and learn and grow. So let's talk about how that is. Every single situation you went through as a child, you handled the only way you knew how at the time. You didn't have manuals, guides, or perfect role models walking you through it step by step. You had instinct. You had survival. You had your little self doing the very best they could with what they knew. I want you to pause for a moment and just breathe that in. Can you give your younger self the credit right now for doing that? Say thank you to your inner child for handling things the best that you could for whatever was happening in that moment. Your brave little self found a way to continue on. Please say thank you to yourself. Thank you, self, for doing the best you could. Thank you for finding a way through. Thank you for carrying me here to this moment. Even though you were scared or hurt, you were brave. So often we look back at our childhood selves and we judge them. Maybe we wish we'd been stronger, louder, braver, or more in control. But the truth is, you survived. You made it through, and that deserves not only acknowledgement, but praise. If you're listening right now, I want you to place your hand on your heart and whisper to that younger version of yourself, I'm proud of you, and you did your best, and your best was enough. And speaking of the past, there's a quote I love from Peter Crone, the mind architect. What happened, happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. When we really let that sink in, it changes everything. So much of our suffering comes from wishing the past was different. But the truth is, it can't be. It already unfolded. The energy of resistance keeps us chained to what was. Healing begins when we stop fighting with reality and start asking, what meaning can I give this? What good can I squeeze out of a bad experience? How can I let this experience shape me into something greater? The reality is that if you can turn a bad experience into something of value for those around you, it was not for nothing. This makes even some of the most horrific experiences meaningful. Every trauma carries within it the possibility of becoming a doorway. If we let it, trauma can trap us. It can become an anchor that weighs us down, keeping us stuck in bitterness or fear. But if we choose, that same trauma can become a springboard, propelling us forward into meaning, purpose, and growth. I've lived through many forms of trauma myself, and while no two experiences are the same, every one of them has taught me empathy. They've given me the ability to sit with someone else's pain and truly say, I understand. You're not alone. That gift of connection is powerful. When somebody feels understood, they no longer feel isolated in their suffering. And when they heal, they carry that light outward, touching their families, their communities, and everyone they encounter. Its ripple effect is healing. The pain transforms into purpose, and the purpose spreads beyond anything we can measure. There's another saying that you may have heard of. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're calm, you're in the present. I've found that to be true again and again. Depression pulls us back into what we lost, what we regret, what went wrong. Anxiety projects us forward into what might happen, what could go wrong, what we can't control. But peace lives here, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this exact moment. The present is the only place where healing happens. The past can inform us, the future can inspire us, but only in the present can we actually feel release and transform. Now I'd like to talk about grief. Grief is not a weakness. It is not something to rush through or get over. Grief is love with nowhere to go. Without love, there is no grief. The pain that rises up when we lose someone or something we love is proof of the love that we carried. It doesn't matter what you lost, whether it's a loved one, a relationship, a job, or even a material possession. If you're grieving, it's only because you loved deeply. And love is never wasted. When you've lost someone dear, instead of only focusing on the emptiness of life without them, try gently turning your attention towards the times you've shared together. The laughter, the conversations, the small sacred moments that shape your connection. Let that love be what carries you forward, not just the absence. And if you are of the understanding that energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed, you can then cultivate a new relationship with your departed loved ones. It is comforting to continue to have a dialogue with those who have passed on. I personally talk to my daughter every day. She doesn't answer me in the same way as she did when she was physically present, but I get signs from her all the time that gives me the reassurance that our bond is eternal. Grief, when honored, can deepen our appreciation for life. It can remind us that love is eternal, even when form is temporary. One of the greatest things we can do for ourselves and for those around us is to live a life on purpose. We are so blessed that we get to choose what we focus on. We get to set our intentions for our future. If you focus on what hurt you, you will continue to hurt. If you focus on what you can do about it, you step into healing. This doesn't mean bypassing or ignoring pain. It means choosing to shift from being a victim of our pain to using our pain to be a powerful creator. You didn't choose everything that happened to you, but you can choose what you make of it right now. And here's something we don't often get taught. Feelings that don't feel good are not bad. They're messengers. Anger, sadness, fear, they each arrive with a purpose. They point us toward boundaries that need setting, wounds that need tending, truths that need speaking. And here's the key. Emotions are meant to move through us, not live inside us forever. Anger is useful for a moment, but if we hold on to it too long, it turns toxic. Sadness helps us to honor our loss, but if we never let it shift, it becomes despair. Fear alerts us to danger, but if we keep feeding it, it turns into paralysis. And often the things we fear the most can turn out to be benign. Fear of making a change can prevent us from stepping into a life of joy and freedom. The gift of healing is learning how to feel emotions fully and let them do their work, and then release them so we can return to peace. So how do we actually do this? How do we move past trauma and step into healing? Here are a few tools that have helped me and may help you too. Number 1, inner child dialogue. Speak directly to the younger you. Write them letters. Tell them you're proud. This reparents the part of you still holding on to an old wound. Number 2, present moment practices. Meditation, breath work, grounding exercises. These keep you here instead of drifting into the pain of the past or the fear of the future. Number 3, reframing meaning. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What gift can come from this pain? Shifting meaning shifts everything. Number 4, creative expression. Journal, paint, sing, dance. Trauma is stored in the body and expression moves through. And number 5, connection with others. Share your story. This podcast is my way of doing just that. It's my desire and intention to use the stories of my past hurts and pains to uplift and help others to heal. In doing so, I'm healing myself as well. Healing in isolation is hard. Healing in community creates support, accountability, and belonging. Number 6, releasing practices. Whether through ritual therapy or energy work, find ways to let go. Here's a visualization practice that may help. Imagine the pain being a physical object, like a brick or a burning coal or an anchor. Set it down in a remote location and look right at it and say, "Thank you for what you have taught me and what you have brought me through. However, I no longer need your services." And then turn your back on it and walk away. Visualize leaving it behind, feeling free and light, knowing you no longer need it. If you take nothing else from today's conversation, let it be this. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time, and that deserves compassion, not criticism. In Peter Crone's words, what happened, happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way, because it didn't. But what you do with it now, that's your power. Every trauma can either be an anchor or a springboard. The choice is yours. Grief is evidence of love. Pain is evidence of life. And healing is evidence of your courage to keep going. So, beautiful soul, be gentle with yourself. Thank your inner child. Honor your emotions. Choose presence. And keep moving towards the life that's waiting for you on the other side of pain. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who might need a reminder that they're not alone in their healing journey. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode and our community can grow. And if you leave a review, it helps this message reach more people who might need it. Together, we can turn pain into power and create ripple effects of healing that touch far beyond what we can see. Thank you so much for joining me today.